Pizza wins the prize. It was a sunny Saturday afternoon, and the Henry family was gathered for their annual family party. Laughter echoed through the backyard as cousins, aunts, uncles, and grandparents enjoyed each other's company. This year, however, there was an exciting twist: a cooking competition. The competition was open to all the young cousins, and the winner would receive a family trophy and bragging rights for the whole year. The excitement in the air was palpable. In the kitchen, amidst the flurry of activity and chatter, 12-year-old Lily and her cousin Tony were busy preparing for the big event. Lily was known in the family for her love of baking, while Tony had a knack for experimenting with different flavors. Together, they decided to make a pizza, not just any pizza, but a pizza that would leave everyone asking for more. The cousins had spent the previous week planning their recipe. While everyone else was planning burgers, pasta dishes, and desserts, Lily and Tony wanted to do something different. After a lot of brainstorming and experimentation, they settled on a unique pizza recipe they called the Perfect Cousins Pizza. As the clock struck noon, Uncle George, who was in charge of organizing the competition, gathered all the contestants in the backyard. He stood on a chair to get everyone's attention and spoke into the megaphone he always carried for these family events. "All right, everyone. The moment you've all been waiting for has arrived. The Henry family cooking competition is officially starting in 5 minutes. The judges will be Aunt Linda, Grandma Henry, and myself. We're looking for creativity, presentation, and, of course, deliciousness. May the best team win." The young cousins cheered, but Lily and Tony exchanged a determined glance. They were ready. They had prepped all their ingredients in advance and were confident that their pizza would steal the show. As the countdown started, Lily focused on making the perfect dough while Tony gathered all the toppings they would need. He was meticulous in choosing the freshest ingredients: ripe tomatoes, creamy mozzarella, fresh basil, and a few secret herbs and spices that he had borrowed from his mom's kitchen. They were going to take traditional pizza to a whole new level. 3, 2, 1, start cooking. Uncle George shouted, signaling the beginning of the competition. Lily's hands moved swiftly as she kneaded the dough, a skill she had learned from helping her mom bake bread. She stretched and shaped it into a perfect circle, just the right thickness for their crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside crust. Tony, meanwhile, prepared the sauce. He knew that the sauce would be the key to their pizza's flavor, so he sautéed garlic in olive oil, added crushed tomatoes, and simmered it with a blend of Italian herbs. "This smells amazing," Tony said as he stirred the sauce, a proud smile on his face. "We're going to blow them away." Lily grinned. "Just wait until they taste it." Once the dough was ready, they spread a thin layer of sauce over it, careful not to add too much. They didn't want the pizza to become soggy. Then came the mozzarella. They had decided to use both fresh mozzarella and shredded for that perfect gooey, cheesy pull. Tony sprinkled just the right amount of cheese, making sure every inch of the pizza was covered. "What about the toppings?" Tony asked, eyeing the ingredients laid out before them. Lily's eyes lit up. "I was thinking we could do half with our special basil pesto chicken and the other half with a combination of roasted vegetables. That way, there's something for everyone." Tony nodded in agreement. "That sounds perfect. Let's do it." They quickly got to work. Lily prepared the chicken, marinating it with pesto she had made from scratch, while Tony sliced up the roasted vegetables: bell peppers, zucchini, mushrooms, and red onions. The kitchen smelled heavenly as they arranged the toppings in a balanced yet artistic way. "We've got to make this look amazing," Lily said, placing a few fresh basil leaves on top for a final touch. "Presentation is everything." Tony took a step back to admire their creation. "This is going to be the best pizza anyone's ever tasted." In the meantime, the other cousins were hard at work on their own dishes. Lily's older brother, Max, and his team were making a giant burger with all the fixings. Their cousin Rachel was whipping up a chocolate lava cake that had everyone's mouth watering just from the smell. There was no shortage of creativity in the competition, and the stakes were higher than ever. As the time ticked down, Lily and Tony placed their pizza in the oven. They watched through the glass as the crust began to puff up and turn golden, the cheese bubbling to perfection. 5 minutes left. Uncle George's voice boomed through the backyard, and the cousins scrambled to put the finishing touches on their dishes. Lily and Tony waited until the last possible minute to take their pizza out of the oven, ensuring that it was hot and fresh for the judges. They carefully placed it on a wooden pizza board, drizzled a little extra olive oil on top, and sprinkled a few more fresh basil leaves. It was a masterpiece. As the timer went off, signaling the end of the competition, Uncle George announced that it was time for the judging to begin. The cousins carried their dishes out to the judging table, where Aunt Linda, Grandma Henry, and Uncle George waited with anticipation. One by one, the teams presented their creations. Max's burger towered over the judges, with layers of bacon, cheese, lettuce, and tomatoes stacked high. Rachel's chocolate lava cake oozed molten chocolate as she cut into it, earning gasps of delight from the crowd. But when Lily and Tony approached with their pizza, the judges sat up a little straighter. "This looks incredible," Aunt Linda said, her eyes widening as she took in the vibrant colors of the pizza. "It's almost too beautiful to eat. But we're going to eat it anyway," Grandma Henry said with a laugh, grabbing the pizza cutter. They sliced into the pizza, and as the first piece was lifted, the cheese stretched in long, gooey strands, eliciting a collective "oh" from the audience. Uncle George took the first bite. His eyes closed as he chewed slowly, savoring the flavors. "Wow," he finally said. This is something else." Aunt Linda and Grandma Henry followed suit, each taking a bite and nodding in approval. The roasted vegetable side was perfectly balanced with the sweetness of the peppers and the earthiness of the mushrooms, while the basil pesto chicken side was bursting with flavor from the fresh pesto and juicy chicken. "This is fantastic," Aunt Linda said. "The crust is crispy, the sauce is fresh, and the toppings are just the right amount." Grandma Henry, who was notoriously hard to impress when it came to food, took another bite and smiled. "I think we have a winner." As the judging came to a close, all the cousins gathered around the table, anxiously waiting for the results. Uncle George stood up, holding the family trophy in his hands. "I've got to say, this was the best competition we've ever had. Every dish was amazing, and you all did a fantastic job. But there can only be one winner." The tension in the air was palpable as Uncle George paused dramatically. "The winners of this year's Henry Family Cooking Competition are Lily and Tony for their perfect cousins pizza." The crowd erupted in cheers as Lily and Tony high-fived each other, grinning from ear to ear. Aunt Linda handed them the trophy, and they held it up proudly, basking in the glory of their victory. "You guys really nailed it," Uncle George said, shaking their hands. "That pizza was out of this world. I can't wait to see what you come up with next year." Lily and Tony beamed with pride, knowing that they had not only won the competition, but also created something truly special together. As the family gathered around to share the pizza, it became clear that this was more than just a win, it was the start of a new family tradition. As the evening wore on, the family continued to enjoy the delicious pizza, sharing stories and laughter. Lily and Tony, still riding the high of their victory, couldn't stop smiling as their cousins congratulated them. "I think we just started something," Lily said, glancing over at Tony. He nodded in agreement. "Yeah, I think we did. Maybe next year we can make something even crazier. Like a dessert pizza or something." Lily's eyes lit up at the idea. "That's brilliant. We'll keep them guessing." From that day on, the Henry Family Cooking Competition became a beloved tradition, with Lily and Tony always striving to outdo themselves year after year. But no matter what dishes they created in the future, nothing could ever top the moment when their pizza brought the family together in the most delicious way possible. And so, the legend of the perfect cousins pizza lived on, not just as a memory of a competition, but as a reminder of the bond between family, food, and the joy of creating something amazing together.